Marx spanked him. Yes, daddy, he insisted. Yes, daddy, Engels said. He trembled under the he trembled under the weight of communist domination. Jesus Christ. Rent is this high. Rent is in fact this high. We have officially made it to 30,000 subs and almost 3 million total channel views, which is kind of crazy to think about, especially since when starting this channel, I didn't have much experience editing long-term videos at all. I just made it because I guess people just like hearing me talk and about the subjects I bring light on. So thank you for all of that. Back in the day, I made a promise to the Discord server that at 20k I would do a fanfic reading, and conveniently never went through on that, and then 30,000 got brought up again, so I'll do that. But I also wanted to do a Q&A just for newer viewers of the audience and for questions that repeatedly come up that I could just link them to this video so they can answer. So I opened up some questions to the community, and I'll just timestamp each one, and then if you really just want to get in the nitty-gritty of things, I'll also timestamp me reading the fan fiction. But thank you guys so much for all the support and all the things that we've done as a community, people telling me that they've done things in their communities or set up programs or helped out their neighbors and stuff like that because of my content. That's really inspiring, and it helps keep me accountable in my life, you know, because I want to practice what I preach, especially if other people are following that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the questions. How did I escape the Manosphere pipeline or the Redpill pipeline? When I was younger, as with most young men, you know, I was searching around of like how to get more women, how to be more confident and attractive, blah 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 blah, and it led me down to those circles. And maybe it's hindsight, maybe it's just because everything is so radicalized now, but there was still misogyny, but it was more so very focused heavily on it being the man's responsibility. Like the advice would be to stop being a pushover, make boundaries, certain women will take advantage of you if they can, which I think is still true. As with anybody, regardless of gender, it's up to you to set boundaries and also have self-respect for yourself. I don't think this is just something inherent to men or women. I did definitely fall prey to seeing like women as a different species, like, oh, women think different of men, they're more emotional, you gotta talk to them like XYZ. And I mean, it was kind of a placebo effect because I did get more confident, and I mean, not to brag, I haven't really had many issues dating, but I would say that the best antidote to it is to get more platonic female friends. It doesn't have to be like 50-50 male to female like friend ratio, but actually going out and talking to a varied pool of women and listening to them and their experiences does a boatload. Like especially like when you get into darker concepts such as like SA, harassment, misogyny, having like women friends really gives you insight into how like prevalent and like protected some of those acts are. So I would say that. And even then, like once you, not even just in a dating sense, once you talk around and learn, you kind of learn what like you will accept or like the things you don't like, and it's way easier to bridge that gender gap when you have that camaraderie there. So that's what I would say. That's how I got out per se. Although I do carry and I support the Second Amendment, I wouldn't really flex myself as a giant like gun nut who knows like a lot of models and makes, but I would say based on my limited experience, the Glock 27 or the Glock 23 are good. You can't go wrong with Glocks, so I would say one of those two probably. I just started off as like a meme page. I used to run a lot of like meme pages, and not a lot, but I used to run like a meme page or two, and then that's how I got like my editing skills up. And I've always been like socially progressive. I just like didn't know where to like place myself. And then on TikTok, I just started posting like meme slideshows with the occasional like original like political meme I made in it. And then like people started liking the original political meme, so I just kind of like gradually started doing that. And then it just snowballed from there. And then I got banned from TikTok. And I got lucky on Instagram getting a clip go viral, and then yeah, the rest is history. I used to have my my Instagram's both as Ozymandias V2, like V2 as in V1 got banned. And then I decided to make it the Watchmen Party because my Discord was the Watchmen, like off the comic book. And then like my name was like the poem and the Watchmen character. And then just in general, I wanted to combat like all the right-wing content on like social media and YouTube, because people like to say like the left have a monopoly on like media, but then like I could go online. I've tested this. Like I could go online and just like say like this new Disney movie is fucking woke and it sucks. I'm not political though. I'm a centrist, but I hate wokeness, and I'll get like a bunch of views or at least get some traction. And it's just like I kind of wanted to fight back against that with like leftist content. Like I want my page to be for like stuff that people want to be talked about, or like if they can't articulate something or they can't do something a certain way, like it's a collective for people to help and do good. I don't want it to be a thing where it's just like, oh, it's the Ozymandias V2 page, or like if somebody has a disagreement or is unsure of something, they're like, oh well, Ozzy said this, Ozzy said that. No, I want you to think for yourself, or if I'm in the wrong, call me out, or yada yada yada. If we do good, you know, that's good. Personally, I've been better. I'm coming off of a sickness right now, but honestly, it puts into perspective how good things are when you're not sick. I've had a rough couple months, but I think that's really where you find strength. Not like when you're having good times, but when you're having bad times and you still gotta persevere through it. So I know there's good things on the horizon. You gotta take the good with the bad. So that's just my outlook. But overall, I'm doing pretty good. I would say traveling around the world, and especially living in the third world, it really shows you like how different the media can depict stuff versus the reality, along with wealth disparities. Because it's kind of crazy being in high school when you're one of the like privileged international students, and like you're going to mansion parties and having fun and getting drunk, and then right next door is a shanty town full of like people that can't even afford dinner or know if they're going to be able to bathe the next day. And it's not to come from a savior complex where I'm like, oh my god, I feel such guilt, I need to be the one to save these poor wretched souls. But it was definitely a moment where I kind of thought to myself, things shouldn't be the way that they are, and there's more than enough to go around for everybody. And in America, this type of ideology will get you called the dirty anti-American commie scum, so go figure. Now, I think all historical leaders and, you know, revolutionaries have their goods and bads, but I would have to say probably Che. Simply just because you can see his growth in stuff like the motorcycle diaries and his personal writings, and also even how he died, you know, going around the world trying to help other countries do revolutions and fight against colonialism or oppression. And unfortunately, that's what ended up in his dying. But even if you look at the story of like his death, like I think they had him imprisoned like near a school, and he was just talking about like it's a shame that this school isn't getting funded as much as it should be. And his last words were, shoot coward, you're only killing a man, or something like that. It's just like that's a real dude to have like morals unto the end, and also like just have that kind of determination for the stuff that he wants. I'm sorry, my mind's frazzled, but that would be my answer to that. I'm not really a dogmatist when it comes to like adhering to a strict ideology. I've been placed as a democratic socialist, but more recently I guess I'm leaning towards Marxist-Leninism. Honestly, I'm just doing a bunch of reading, and I prefer not to speak on things as a whole that I'm not fully educated on. So I try to, you know, keep my nose out of that stuff, but that's where I would place. But once again, it's not like I'll yuck somebody else's yum. But anyways, speaking of Marx.
Say the line, Bart! I didn't do it.
Today we will be reading Fuck the Bourgeoisie, a Karl Marx x Friedrich Engels Mpreg fic. And if you don't know, Mpreg is for male pregnancy. Carl sat alone at his desk, typing frantically. The first draft of the Communist Manifesto should have been finished months ago, but he was still trying to work through some of the concepts in his head. He'd gone across the basics of the stages of history fairly easily, but how best to explain the meaning of bourgeoisie society? His window overlooked the Thames, and through it, Carl could see the sun setting over the charted Thames. It was getting late. He'd need to fetch the oil lamp if he wanted to continue to work at his typewriter. Actually, he might need to buy more oil, as Carl was accustomed to late nights. "Marx," a voice called out. It was Engels, the young man who kindly gave Marx this place to stay to develop his ideas. "What is it, Friedrich?" Marx yelled back. "Have you finished the manifesto yet?" "No, I still need more time." An exasperated Engels entered the study. Sweat covered his brow. Strange. The man always seemed nervous around Marx. "You've had time," he said. "Yes, well, I don't want to rush myself. The future revolution needs as good of a text as I can manage to write." "The revolution is already happening. Haven't you heard about what's happening in Switzerland, in Paris, and the Chartists here? Now's the time to release the manifesto." Marx stroked his beard. "I suppose you might be right. Fine. Whatever the text is, by tomorrow morning will be the final version. But I have a condition." Engels looked worried. "What's the condition?" "If you want me to release the manifesto, then you need to do something here too. You need to let me fuck you." Fuck it. "Excuse me?" Engels chuckled. He seems to think this was a joke. "Sorry, no, not fuck you. Impregnate you." Engels blushed. "Marx, cut it out. We're both married. We said last time. Last time would be the last time, I know. But when I look at you, I struggle to hold myself back. I feel a gravity from your body, and I don't want to resist it. But this feels inappropriate. You're my guest and my employee. The power I hold over you." Marx stood up. The man towered over Engels. "You hold no power over me, you stinking bourgeoisie." Engels gulped. "Yes, sir. Get on your knees. We do this here." Engels complied. And so Marx fucked him hard. I can't read the rest of this sentence for you two. Right, right there on the floor of Marx's study. Engels whimpered. He felt obliterated. "I am the dictator of the proletariat," Marx said, "and you are the capital class, submitting to my hegemony." "Yes," Engels moaned. Marx spanked him. "Yes, Daddy," he insisted. "Yes, Daddy," Engels said. He trembled under the weight of communist domination. Marx sped up, moving from one stage to the next as history will inevitably move towards communism. "You filthy capitalist pig, you're enjoying this, aren't you?" Marx spat. "Yes, Daddy Marx." Marx shouted out, "We have nothing to lose but our virginities," as he shot. Oh. Engels could feel his insides had been rearranged, and as Marx's baby batter entered him, he knew that he had been bred. How would he explain this to his wife? His growing belly over the 9 months, the cravings, and the eventual child? No, his wife didn't matter. He was a filthy bourgeoisie, and he would submit to Daddy Proletariat. He would think only of Daddy Proletariat. The next morning, Marx read through the final draft of the Communist Manifesto. Strange, he thought. He'd forgotten the last sentence he'd written. "Working men of all countries." And that's how the Communist Manifesto was written. But you know what? Since you guys are such an awesome and supportive fan base, I will give you 2 fanfic readings. So, here we fucking go. It's the 20th of January. Biden walks into the White House. His oath was in his heart, but something else was on his mind. He had an uncontrollable, fractious, festering lust for gay sex. As he strolled into the office, he found Trump sitting at his desk. He was defeated, barely even mustering enough energy to look Biden in the eye. As Biden looked into Trump's eyes, he saw something he never did before. That beautiful shade of blue-green mixed in with the most endearing gray hue. It was a work of art that not even Da Vinci could have ever made. He looked up from his model eyes to his hair. Oh, that beautiful hair. Him and Kamala had made Trump go through hell and back because of his hair, but he regretted it all now. It was just stunning. He could barely resist the urge to stroke his hands through it and see if it really was as good feeling as it is good looking. Biden expected Trump to be throwing a tantrum, and he braced himself for the most pedantic of insults. Yet he noticed that Trump was staring at him just as intently as he was staring at Trump. To his surprise, Trump wasn't giving him the look he gave to his least favorable contestants on The Apprentice, but he was giving him the look that he gives to Ivanka Trump when she's looking her best. Jesus Christ. Biden and Trump both blushed and quickly averted their glance to their security, but they both knew deep down what was about to happen. The first person to break the silence was Trump. He called for security to leave the room. Biden quickly did the same, wondering if it was for the reason he thought it was for. He would find out sooner than he expected. Trump stood up from his desk, giving Biden that lustful stare as he paced through the room. Trump eventually came face to face with Biden. Biden was sweating profusely, not because Trump was violating the 6 feet rule like always, but because he was experiencing a rush of testosterone that he had never felt with Jill. Biden didn't give any fucks. Trump gently leaned into Biden's ear and whispered, "Mr. President, I want you to slide into my office." Biden threw all 244 pounds of Trump onto his desk and ripped his suit off. He immediately planted his lips onto Trump's, and slowly kissed down his way down to his hip. Trump threw his New Yorker accent away and immediately moaned like a male art hoe on the brink. Such a way with words. Trump pulled Biden's pants down. Joe was right. Joe was a completely huge 9 inches at the... Okay. Alright, video over. Thank you guys for watching, and that'll be all.